Hello, this is Just Wasp, and we are starting today off in my testing world because there's a few ideas I want to try for this tower, and this is what I've been working on. The first one's kind of obvious. This was my first design. I left myself enough space to do the redstone because I thought I was going to have to do 2 double doors, and also from seeing one video Mumbo Jumbo did, I was going to do one where it pushes all of these out of the way, but it's kind of complicated on bedrock, and also the way I want to do it to have this gap in the back to actually have these in is going to be a really difficult way of doing it, so I opted for a simpler option. Also, the thing that really made me decide was having 2 of these made it really difficult for these armor stands because they wouldn't have been central. But if you've seen Avengers, I'm sure you can guess what this is. I like the way the what they call the sea lanterns work in the back there. They create a smaller light. Instead of having one big sea lantern, it creates a thin light, which is what he has down the back of his suits. If you flick this one, you can just open it. You can see the sticky piston. Not too sure what I want to do about that, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, when you stand back, it actually looks quite nice. Obviously, this is all just the random blocks I use. I use these because they've got hard edges, so it's easy to tell how many blocks it is. But the main one here, I was just working on some clocks and some other bits because I've made this. Now hopefully it's going to work, so let's give it a try. As I mentioned before, I want to have my Elytra flying course up here, and sometimes the timing's a little bit off, so I'm just trying to figure that out at the moment. And there you go, you can see the timing was off. I don't know why. One time it will be fine, the next time they'll all be off by a tiny bit like that. So let's reset that and give it another go. So if I stand forwards on the block, sometimes it's alright. Let's see. There you go, that one's worked that time. So yeah, you have to stand near the front of the block from the looks of it. But yeah, this is the basic idea. The redstone's kind of big at the moment, so I'm not sure how I want to do it because it needs to be sort of a platform by itself. It's going to be tricky, but that is how we start the course. Now obviously I know the chest plate won't be involved. I just wanted to show it with the chest plate because it looks more like Iron Man with it. Obviously if I take that off, it's kind of strange. But you're going to need the wings. Oh, interesting. That kind of looks like Iron Man. So yeah, you're going to need the wings for that. But this is how I've done this. So the way it works, and you can see that all stops as well after you're finished. So I have a clock here, which is going into an observer, so it gives it 1 tick. Honestly, I was struggling with this quite a lot, but I got it to work. And you basically have like a conveyor belt system, so it sends the blocks across, they come down, this sticky piston pulls them down, then this one pushes them across. So that's what all of the timing down here. There's a repeater here, there's that one's got no repeaters because that's the first one, and the third one has 2 repeaters, and the last one has 2 repeaters, but obviously on more delay. And it's about the best I could get it, otherwise it sort of glitches out and it pushes blocks out of the system. Now to get this to activate, obviously given being as it was giving off a full signal, you know, full thing, I needed 1 tick. That's why I just have the observer there, just to get 1 tick. But also to switch it on at the start, it's not particularly easy to switch it on, so I've actually put another kind of clock in that has just 1 item in it, and when you press it, it will push this. Then it has a separate line going off which activates all of the dispensers. As you can see by all of the repeaters here, I'm looking if there's a simpler way to do this. If not, I'm probably just going to have this on like the floor down. The floor below this is probably going to be taken up by redstone. And then you have one coming from the end, so when it's finished it will turn it back off again. And obviously after all of these have dispensed, you've got a few more repeaters here which activates a piston under here, pushing this block out, which pushes you into the slime block. And then finally the slime block will activate and send you up into the air, and that's when you'll use your Elytra and fly off. So the real one will probably only have 3 dispensers, and it'll just give you like boots, chest plate and a helmet. I'm not sure what colours I want to do them because it's difficult to get a good looking Iron Man from that. But I love it. It's a brilliant little contraption. I mean, if there's ever been an armour equipping station, Tony Stark's one is the one to have. So that's why I've done that. The carpet I used because I'm going to have to use carpet on the top. I just want to see how it looked, because for things like these repeaters it's just easier to cover up. You're going to have some terracotta in here or some other form of immovable block, but I know maybe obsidian will work actually. Obsidian will probably work fine. And yeah, so that's a couple of ideas there. I mean, I just love the way this looks, to be honest. It's already looking like Iron Man's little lineup of suits. So not sure whereabouts in the building I'm going to put that one. Obviously, I'm not going to have the inside exactly replicated. I also have one more design idea that I haven't tried yet, where basically for Hulk's room, it will say on the wall, warning stay out or something like that, or Hulk enter at own risk. And when you open the door, as soon as you step inside, a slime block will come forwards. There'll be like I'll make a Hulk in the room and a slime block will come forwards and punch you back out of the room, which would be quite cool. I've got a few ideas for this. But yeah, I'm going to jump back into my server and we're actually going to start working on building this today. We're back in my world, and if you see, just round the corner here, I am next to the smelter. I use that smelt bit of glass, and I actually came up with this little design here. I was trying to come up with an efficient way of turning concrete powder into hardened concrete, because obviously the only way we've got really on Xbox is by using pistons to push it. So you can see with this one, it drops and pushes it up there, and what will happen is, if you get the timings right, if you do it wrong it will sometimes get stuck. So you just have to give it like a second. And you come up here and you just go straight down. The way I thought about this was, obviously it's not too difficult to mine it, but it can be annoying when it's all in one big block and you might mine out extra blocks, which is why I put the wood here. And to use sticky pistons just to push that. Whoops. Obviously you can wait a little bit longer than I am, but I figured that the way that I'm doing it is actually seems to be the quickest way, because if you place it just in time, it actually, just as the block disappears, it seems to sort of fall through the block that's moving out of the way. It just takes a little bit of time off of it. But you can just stand there and pretty much just keep pressing it and it normally will be fine. But obviously this way you don't have to, the mining part of it is very quick, because you can just literally go up and come straight back down, and it's a very small compact design, a very small amount of redstone, nothing complicated, and also it's easy to mine because you just go straight to the source of where you're going to start mining. You don't have to move. I only used one piece of food to do an entire chest of white concrete powder. I have just woken up though, so my accuracy with this isn't the best, but I was doing it last night and it was pretty easy to do. So if you want something simple, I'll definitely say this is probably one of the best designs you can have. And it takes up barely any space. You just need to be able to go up 13 blocks, I think, 14 blocks. It depends on the 2 blocks at the top, because obviously you need the space just to get out of the water stream and get on top of that concrete powder. Concrete. So yeah, I'll quickly pop into the test world and show you the redstone for this. Although the one I did in the test world isn't perfect, because again I was trying a few different ideas. I had to keep moving bits around, and I was having an issue obviously with the piston. Originally I just had the piston straight underneath the observer, but when you push it, so originally I had the observer down one, just down where that water is, and when you pushed it, the piston was down here pushing upwards, and it would glitch out because obviously you're updating the observer loads of times. That's why I have to use the falling aspect of the concrete. So you can see around here, all we have, the observer goes into one redstone line with a 3-tick delay. That's just so that the powder has enough time to fall. And then the observer also comes around here, and that's just 4-tick delay on that one. And then there's 3 4-tick delay repeaters here. You could probably do a bit less, but it seems to be fine for the timings, as you can see. There's I could probably take a little bit off that. Let's just have a look at that. Oh. Yeah, that's not too bad actually. What if I even... Probably this one will mess up. Okay, that's a lot quicker. So I'll probably take a couple of delays off of that one actually. What's that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ticks, and this is 4 ticks. So I mean, it's literally going 1 tick later. And then again, you just come up and you can see from the top, you just got your water elevator and your concrete. They're right next to each other. So it's very simple. You can actually make it a lot more compact than this. This was just a bit of practice there. So I'm going to go and make all of that hardened concrete, and then I already have a chest of concrete, white concrete. I have a chest of black paned glasses. Yeah, black paned glass, and I'm going to use that obviously for the windows, and I've got my quartz ready. So I'll get on with this and I'll get back to you guys when I'm ready to build. Okay, so I've nearly done a whole chest, and it took me about 40 minutes to do this lot, so you can say sort of 45 minutes for an entire chest. But I just didn't bother doing a full chest because of the resources. It just worked out easier the way it lined up in my storage. Bit of OCD there, but don't need that much of this one anyway. I need more of the white concrete, so that's fine. You're wondering why I have lime green concrete powder. You'll find out in a second, because we are in the potion brewing room, and I'm gonna make me some potion of weakness. In fact, splash potion of weakness. Gunpowder splash potion, right? And that nearly went really bad. Right, okay, so I need to start with the nether wart. I don't do potions very often, but obviously everyone knows why you need a weakness potion. And then we'll put the fermented spider's eye, which I've actually now decided is going to be the last one in my list, because weakness I imagine is going to be quite good. Make that into a splash potion, and we're going to go cure ourselves a zombie villager. Because he was just outside my base, so I dragged him in and I grabbed the first blocks I could find in any chest, and it happened to be these. Also show obviously that I haven't used any creative or any cheats, but I just want the achievement more than anything. Please give me mending. I think we'll leave this guy. This guy's no good. Okay, so we got our area picked out now. We're over here near the mysterious building, and my house is obviously up there, so you should be able to see it from there. And this is where we are. You can see we've started flattening this down. I might have to do this bit. It will probably... Oh, you can see the shulker boxes don't load in, but the crafting table does. It loads in from further away. So I might have to do a bit of terraforming over here just to fit it in, just to give a bit more length onto this platform. So what I'm going to do is I'll get on with building that, and that's probably going to be a time lapse. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can see that, but just off in the distance there is a faint mark. And that's what it is. I think it's looking good so far. I added the A in down the bottom, so this is the base, because I wanted to have the A in there. And also I quite like the way the glass looks inside. I've cut out the pillars. And that big one is probably going to be where I have my map room inside there, which is going to be the map of this area. But I've only done just that, so I need to do the sides, and I need to measure out the length of the sides. You can see I did actually change the shape a little bit, because the angles for these windows was pretty difficult, and I actually had to change the shape I was using. So this was my original one, and this is the one that's actually turned out as. But I think it's turned out alright now. Let's see if I can get a better view from over here. Yeah, you can see they look pretty decent. Nothing really sticks out too much, but it was difficult trying to involve the pillars that I've got going up on the outside with that curved angle, but I think I've made it work alright. So I'm going to get on with building the rest. I didn't actually do this as a time lapse because I was working on the A, and I just wanted to get my head around how to sort of easily do this. I've got a little bit of a flow going with it now, so I will do a time lapse for that, and hopefully we can finish the whole base now. The only issue is resources. So you remember what I started with. I've got, yep, maybe 12 stacks of that left. That's all my white concrete I've got left. That's all my quartz is fine, and my black glass. So I did pick some really annoying resources to do this out of, but I think they look the best. So we'll carry on with it like this, and I'll get to that time lapse now. Okay, so you can see here we've sort of done maybe half of it, so we're just getting back onto this wall, so we've got the same amount to go. I also made up a whole another shulker box of white concrete, and this is what we're left with. We're going to struggle. But once this bit's done, then I need a lot more of these resources to do the top bit as well, so that'll be fun. Yeah, so I'm just going to do this bit off camera now, because that took about 25 minutes just to do those 2 walls, which is quite ridiculous. So I'll come back when this bit's all done, and we'll see how it's looking. Okay, so as you can see, we now have all of the walls in place, and I actually started doing a layer here just so I've got something to build on. I'm not going to fill in the entire thing, because obviously I'm going to be building the top part of this structure. And look at that, I've got a nice little stock of rockets going now, because as I've been doing this, I've been... Ooh, it's raining over there. I have been collecting up gunpowder on the nights instead of sleeping through them. So you can see all the sides are in place. Got that prank still there, he hasn't been online yet. And if I can land, oi! And there we go. Unfortunately it's raining, but that is the beginning of my build. Next I'm going to be building the middle tower, the main part obviously with the curves and the large bit of glass coming on the side, which is what I'm going to test for. I think I'm going to get on with that in the next episode, and I'll probably cut it here. So see you guys in the next episode, and thank you for watching.